application moment.
Application moment.
Application moment.
Application moment.
Application moment.
Application moment. Application moment.
Application moment.
Application moment.
Action.
Hello, lovely people. Welcome to another amazing episode of Application Moment. And like we always do, we engage with our panelists and we discuss things of God, things about the scripture, and then we help develop ourselves in our Christian life. And today, to help us understand, the mysteries of what we've studied over the while, we have with us again on the panel, Pastor Emmanuel Abuaji, the head pastor of CCC Kumasi City Mall. Pastor, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And we also have one amazing man of God. In fact, I prefer to call him Pastor Gazy. So, Pastor Gazy, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, and he's also the lead for the New Generation. He's the pastor for the New Generation Ministry. That's the youth home of the church. And so, you're again welcome. Today, we'll be looking at our main topic, which is why talented people fail, and with a sub-theme and a deeper focus on the secrets of uncommon people. And so I'll start again with Pastor Emmanuel Abuaji. So, Pastor, when we say uncommon people, what do we refer to?
Yeah, people who have distinguished themselves. I mean, people who have become very successful in what they are doing. And those are the people I'm calling them uncommon people. They are not average. They say at the bottom of the mountains, there are a lot of people. But as you climb higher, you see that you meet few people out there. These are uncommon people. Every field you find these people there, they are not easy to find. The Bible said that those that are diligent at their work, they will not be relegated. The Amplifier, it said they will not be relegated, or the Message version, one of them said they will not be relegated. They won't be at the back seat, or they won't be at the bench. They will always be on the front line. Yes, so those are them. Yeah.
And so then again, somebody will want to know, what does it take to be uncommon? Because seeing that being an uncommon person is actually a great thing. So, if there are secrets to it, how would somebody get to understand that? Okay, that's how uncommon people behave. There's their pattern. There's how they actually achieve that feat or that status, and then we also weave our life pattern by that.
Yeah. So the number one point I made was that uncommon people know they have something that people need. They know they have a gift that will benefit people. So they work on it. If you know you have a product that people will need, look at somebody like Steve Jobs. He sat in his room, he brought the concept, they worked on it, of the iPad, and they thought, these people are going to need it. Then they went out to sell it. They work hard. Now Apple is $1 trillion company, because they knew they have something people will need, and they've flied on that all this while. That we always have something people need. If I'm a preacher, do I have a message? Then I know people will need it, and then one day I know everybody would want to have it. So my goal is get it out, work at it, and get it out. People who don't have great success are people who have no confidence in what they have. Once it's a shift of mindset that, okay, this thing that I'm doing, I know I'm there for people. And then, like David said, I perceive that I've been made a king because of the people of Israel. And that changes his enthusiasm. It changes how he perceives the whole thing, the effort he puts in. If I'm cooking and I know that, this food, people are going to eat it, they are going to come for it, I will do it well. Like I said, there are people who start something and then they start a business, they open the shop, they say 8, they will come at 11. And so from that time up to 11, people who come will say, oh, you don't think about me, I'm not going to come. I'm not going to come again because you don't consider me as very important for your product, because customers want to be regarded as a very essential and important. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there's something that stands out in the. I'll come to you, Mr. Gaze, but then Pastor, back to you again. So there's something that stands out in there. So I mean, for uncommon people, they have what they tag as their reward is purely different from people who I would say are commoners. I mean, some people desire or they have satisfaction in the fact that I'm receiving the money as the end. So I mean, you have lots of workers who go and they are doing it because purely, I mean, I'll be paid at the end of the month. So I go 9 to 5, nothing stands out, nothing extraordinary. But then you take somebody who is thinking outside the box, and I mean, maybe his or her satisfaction is on the value they are creating, right? And so in this case, the fiscal, I mean, reward like finances will not be the starter for him. His mindset is on the value system. I mean, is that really the key? I mean,
Yes.
for uncommon?
You see, in this life, you must have a bargaining power. You must have something that in this life, it's what you are using to bargain. Because life is about negotiating. You're negotiating your way through. So what do I have that I can have a say if we sit on the table? You know, there was a time some issue happened, and then the people were saying that, okay, we are not going to give you this. And I said, don't worry, they will come back. Because I had a bag, I knew they would need something from me. And so I kept quiet. And they came, and I charged them too. Yeah, so it's a bargaining power. You don't have to live in life. People who are uncommon always have something they are bargaining. In competition, I think Michael Porter made mention of the Porter's 5 forces. And he said, there's a bargaining power of a buyer. There's a bargaining power of a supplier. If anyone which goes up, one other you suffer. You can have a competition issues. So when you are going in life, you need to know that there is something that you should have that can help you negotiate on your way going. And that is what people do. So you create that value. I have something that people will need. And I'm going for that. I'm going for them. And they will definitely buy it. And they will definitely come for me. But people are there and they think that life is by default, it's by miracle, they should be successful or and then when I was going on, we used to think that way because in our community, that's what they made it look like. That if they see you successful, hey, you are lucky, oh. Hey, these people there, God has blessed them. Oh. No. So they didn't think of value, how they could create value in their life. But as time goes on, that we were hearing, going to seminars, conferences, and then we got to change our mindset. We realized that we need to develop value, and that will be our bargaining chip for everything that we are doing. Yeah.
Wow. So uncommon people actually develop value. Pastor Mr. Gizi, let me come to you. So with the same aspect of uncommon people, I mean, maybe you might share maybe some practical experiences you have, and then if you have also a question for Pastor that would help our learners or viewers also get something.
Okay, so anyone that discovers that they have something, I think that's the first point. That's why it is very important to know your purpose, what you have to do, and all of that. Because once you get to know that, it means that there are certain things you have to do. Of late, when people discover that they have to, or there's a calling upon their lives, they pick their Bibles and then they want to start a church. But the understanding of the whole thing the person has received is not there. So most times they are not able to put all the things they know and what they hear in perspective. One pastor said that a junior pastor of him came to him and he was saying that, God spoke to him and he was saying that he should go and do this. Like he saw in a dream that he was healing, doing some things. And then so he is deducing that this is how he's supposed to go. But after he listened to the whole story, he said that, don't you think that God is saying, go and do this right now? Because of your knowledge and then the scope of how you process things, you are not able to know. And so when you get to know your purpose, you should get people to help you to know how you are supposed to go about it so that you become an uncommon person. Because if you are not able to do that, and go through the training, you will start the journey, and along the line you will discover that there are a lot of things you've not done, and you have to come back to square one and go through the process. And that is why Pastor has been saying that you cannot win lottery and say that you become successful. No, you cannot sustain it because you don't know how you got the money. You've not gone through how to manage 1,000, how to manage 2,000, how to manage 100,000. So when you get 1 million right now, you will spend it and you will not be able to maintain. But the question I would want to ask is that how do one recognize that they are in demand to now start putting things together to make sure that they shape their talent for people, for them to position themselves for that journey.
So you know, it depends on what you are doing. If it's physical products you are selling, and you know the order, you know, demand and supply. So you know that okay, people need 1,000 of the product I have to. But if you have talent or you have a calling like us, we preach, we sing, we teach, and all that, you have to always prepare. The demand, it can come at any time. You can't tell when you will be in extreme demand. They come at all the time. So anytime at all it can come. So you have to always prepare. You have to prepare as though you are in demand. You have to perform at your best. And because people who will place demand on your gift, or people who will call on your gift, but I've gotten a recommendation or but I've seen your performance somewhere. And also, why don't we bring in this person? You see? So that's how it grows. I mean, TD Jakes said that it's a 7-minute video that got him where he was, or where he is now. You know, a man came to his room, and then he had gone to preach at the church, and the pastor decided to play 7 minutes of each of the speakers who came to the place. And then as he was playing it, a man walked into a room. The 7 minutes his was being played was when a man went to his house. Not TD's, I mean, the man had come from work, entered the room, and switched on the TV, and he saw TD Jakes preaching. And so while he was preaching, he said, who is this man? He called him, and that's all. You know, and that is how. And there are several preachers who all got their way through that method. So, so you have to always be on top of your game. You have to prepare because maybe your song is going to go out, your message is going to go out, and people are going to listen. Okay, this guy is good. Can we bring him in? You know, so that could come at any time. If it's not a physical product, then it could come at any time. You know.
And then, Pastor, then again to add a little tweak to that question. So, I mean, to be uncommon, right? It means you are preparing as though you are always in demand. You know, how do we put the fine line between somebody who has that same mindset but then isn't humble enough to learn? The person feels okay. I mean, like, let you sing this, all right? I mean, well, I think today when you were preaching, you talk about minister, and most people hear of the word minister and we think it's a tag, forgetting that it's a servant. So, I mean, somebody who is supposed to serve. So, for instance, the person says, okay, address me as minister, this, that. I mean, it's my time. I know it's my time. I mean, the person feels he's in demand, right? And is calling for it. Rather than, let's say, in the case of Bishop T.D. Jakes, which this one, it was based on a recommendation or based on he doing something consistently, and then the thing actually recommended him to the person. I mean, so how do you put that thin line between, I mean, knowing exactly that, okay, this is based on somebody who was in demand, and it was like the product or their talent sort of shot the person into the limelight or made the person have the chance to be uncommon. And then someone else who is also just being, I'd say, for lack of a better word, say maybe just being ignorant and then feels, okay, it's my time. Give me the chance to do what I have to do.
Many people think that if I dress well and I do all those things, that's when people know. As I said, you need to serve your gifts. You are a servant to your talent or gifts. So the more you serve the gift, if you serve it well, your gift will make room for you. Because it's the gift that will make room for you. So that's why on 20th November, I want to do the talent metrics. So it shows you how you can make your talent very, very effective. So I will talk about different. For instance, your talent needs to get direction, and so it's not. If I can sing, I must make a decision where I will sing. Is it I'm going to sing in the secular world or I'm going to sing in the church? It must have a direction. People, their talent don't have direction. You see them here today. You see. So, by the metrics, I'm going to handle about 8 different things about talent that you need to consider when you have talent. And so that's what many people don't understand. Once you serve your talent well, the talent will definitely open the door for you. You have to give yourself to the talent. All these great guys you see, the singers, the preachers, when they are in their back room, serving the talent, working for the talent, investing into it, doing a lot of things, many people didn't say it. It's just one day that they came out and then people said, wow, who is this? Who is this? Look, this guy is great. The first time I spoke, is it CCC main they had a program. Pastor Sami Eduama had did a program, and then a lot of people came there. I was invited to come and speak. Even if that one was a coincidence, I was supposed to go and advertise a product, and then they said one speaker cancelled out, so can I replace the speaker and all that. So when I spoke, they go like, wow, what is it? That's how CCC, many people got to know me. It was just one day, but people thought, maybe say, no, but when I started doing long time campus, I was doing a lot of things, here and there, and nobody sees that. So that's how talent is. It's like an iceberg. The bulk of your things, your suffering is down there. But one day, somebody will see your performance and will say, look, can I connect you to this? That you don't have to worry about it. So that is, many people don't serve the gift. They think it's the man. But nobody will like you because of you. They like you because of your gift. Yes.
Yeah, so the man must serve the gift.
Yeah.
So can there be a situation where maybe for lack of, like you said, ignorance or something, we are unable to manage the talent well, that it will kill or it will shut the whole agenda or the whole purpose? Because there are instances where, like we say, people are not in demand, but they put themselves there because they believe that people should accord them. They see themselves in a certain light, but people also perceive them in a certain direction. So sometimes they are in a rush to get to a certain level. So how do we make sure that we don't rush too much to crash?
Yeah, so that is why I'm saying that this, I don't want to preempt it, but I'm talking about the metrics of talent on 20th. But talent is let's say is a core but it's raw. So there are so many decisions you need to make when you have talent, for the talent to be able to become the key that you need. Because it's not everybody who likes to listen to Shatta Wale. It's not everybody who likes to listen to Joe Metal. It's not everybody who wants to listen to Nathaniel Bassey. And they all have to make decisions. You see? So there are several decisions, and I have grouped them about to 8, that you need to do those decisions clearly and very, very well, so that people will begin to be drawn to you, and then that is where the reward will come. Like David, to be a king, he can't always be like what we call raiders. They used to be raiders, but if you want to become a king, you have to shift. There are so many things you need to do. You need to consider. You need to depart from a lot of things and all that. So there are things that those things come on. until you do those things, I mean, people will still not know who you are. They'll be confused about you. Yeah.
So I think for me personally, I'm anticipating this whole talent metrics. And I believe if you're viewing us, you're watching us, I mean, you're also eagerly waiting. 20th of November, definitely, I mean, Pastor will definitely bring this out. It's going to be talent metrics. And I mean, it's only to help us identify the various indicators that helps us hone the talent for a particular corner, for a particular purpose. For me, I can't really wait to, get them as the, big print nuggets. So I think you should also anticipate it. Pastor, then let me come back again to, this whole aspect of, I mean, uncommon people. I really want to really understand, what the secrets are. I mean, because it's this. I think Pastor Isaiah said something once, which is in line with what you said. For instance, with ministers, I mean, whatever you come to do when you're given the stage is just an extension of what you do in your secret place. I mean, your prayer closet, what you are doing. You're just giving a platform to exhibit the same thing or to do it on a larger scale. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're coming to do something totally new. There can be instances where those will come up, but then it's based on something you've been doing consistently. All right. And you talked about, I mean, having a cycle of things you are doing.
Yeah.
So once you're doing the same thing and then you're given a platform to redo that thing, it becomes easier. And that's what you are telling as the value you've already created over time, which now somebody has seen. And then it's bearing the fruits for you. And so in this same light again, now there are people who just do what we call jack of all trades, master of none. I mean, well, even though now based on philosophy, people are trying to change that concept a bit. That it's also good to try different things. So how do you, as let's say as a personality, identify that this is the value I want to create? This is what I think I'm very good at, and push at that. And somebody who also hasn't been able to identify what they are very good at and what they can build from that. I mean, how they identify those skill or those talents.
So you see, the reason why sometimes it's good to be focused. I mean, as you move on, you get to understand how best your talent can be used. Because talent is raw, we apply it to so many things. And in fact, you can apply your talent in multiple ways. So that's why it's not only one way that you can succeed. There are multiple ways you can succeed if you have talent. So once you begin to make your journey, you then get to understand that, okay, I can function more well in this area than this. And so that is why people are now they are encouraging that, okay, let people try different things. So as they move around, it gives, apart from the knowledge that they get, they also get to know where they can serve best or where their talent can be applied best. So is that with that mind that you do that? So for me, for instance, I've seen that, okay, now this is where exactly. This is what I think I have to focus more, hit them more. Because I mean, you are not going to live forever. You are not going to get young forever. You have to now begin to be more strategic and more specific to the thing. And so when you identify that, then you begin to invest more into it. Because if you are going to focus on all those multiple things, you are not omnipresent, like you are everywhere. So it's become more expensive for you in terms of your energy, your resources, your time, all that. That is why sometimes it's good to narrow down. Because once you narrow down, you become good at yes. Yeah.
So I have this question. You have, for example, footballers. They are able to exhibit their talent to a certain level. When you get to age, let's say at maximum 35, you have to bow out because where you got into, you can't. Yeah. So what is beyond the talent? Because I think I listened to Miles Monroe. He was saying that we have to always have the plan of getting to the next level. And there are certain areas where you get to, that, okay, now you can consult for others and charge. You not be like maybe for a musician, you not be on stage performing all the time. You need to be looking at another. I think you made mention of it. So you need to look at the next thing, becoming a consultant. having people that you can train, because you get to a point where you cannot live the dream again. You need to get other people to live that same dream or even go beyond it. How do you put, or how do you align all of those things and the future plans to what is currently happening? Because it looks like we know that this is what we will have to do, but putting A, B, C, D together before we go to D, we rush from B to D. You get it? So now you see a lot of musicians that are not well developed. They say, oh, Makoreni, I have this person following me and all of that. Meanwhile, they've not even carved a very good, they don't know their niche. So how do you align that with?
So for instance, the footballers, when you get to your 30, you are almost at the end of your career. But you see, the football is not the talent. The football is a skill. There's difference between the two. And so the talent, the person. Football is an invention of man. But talent is an innate ability. You see, but football is something man has created. If there was no football, what would the person have done? So the person has certain abilities that made him or her be able to play football effectively. And he or she developed the skill to do that. So beyond that, the person has to understand that football is not my talent. Football is a skill I developed. And so I can apply my talent to another thing. Now the footballer, most of them are becoming wiser. And they are knowing that, okay, my football career will end by 30 to 35. I cannot play football again. So what would I do? Some have gone into business. Some are even doctors. Some are doing MBA. Some are doing other things. They are applying that talent to another thing. That is why when you lose one opportunity, you can't say that, okay, I'm done. No. Because your talent can be applied. And talent is such that it can be applied to multiple things. What happens is that every economy, every system, every church must create more platforms so that people can apply their talent. And it makes people to realize their talent. You see, the less opportunities we have to apply our talent, the less people know what talent they have. You see, if in the university we are teaching more courses, people get to know, oh, I can do this course. Oh, okay, I can do this course. But first, some time ago, I've made that example before in UCC. When you do biological science, you have only 2 courses, botany and zoology. So you are there. But now they have expanded it. They've gone to microbiology, the molecular science, they've done human biology, environmental science, aquatic and fishy and aquatic science. They've added more. Biomedical, biochemistry, lab tech. So now people are getting different options. But as time goes on, football, for instance, as time goes on, people, they'll be developing a lot of options. That if you're a footballer, your career doesn't end just because you are 35. So that's how it is. So talent is always different from the skill you are acquiring. And so after your talent you've gotten to a point you can't use your talent. For instance, when you work, you retire from your work. You don't retire from your talent. So when I'm 60 years and I'm retiring from a work, then people will go and sit down and say they are finished. No. And so what you do is that whilst you are in the job, you have to be developing, applying your talent in another stream, whilst you know that it's making provision. So when you move from here, you just move here. Research has shown that your brain is designed, has made room for it. In fact, you can start a whole new career. Yeah, which is possible.
Yeah, so, sorry. It's good, Mr. Gaze, you are here. I mean, you as the handler of New Gen. Because the reason I'm saying this is, there's this question. I mean, recently I was sort of handling a couple of, senior high school graduates, and it was more like a counseling session, sort of a talk, and then trying to advise them on, life beyond senior high school. One of the questions that one student asked, which relates to what we are discussing, is, I mean, I have a goal, I have a vision. I know this is what I want to do. I want to pursue this, all right? And my parents also have a different idea of maybe based on what they've heard that okay, there's a professional field. When you go here, this, that are the benefits. And there's somebody who knows, okay, this is my passion. I want to be excellent in this area. Okay. And so the person is looking at building, let's say, a value in that. And now there's a divergent idea or a view from the parents. I mean, as a child, how do you handle this? And this I'll be asking to both of you because I mean, you also deal with the new gen. So I mean, these are questions that they'll sorry, these are questions they'll be coming with you. I mean, they'll be coming to you all the time with. They would want to know. I mean, I want to be excellent. I want to be good at what I'm pursuing, right? And there's a conflict in terms of factors. It could be external factors. It could be internal. It could be a whole lot of factors. This is just an example, but you can relate it to a whole lot of things. So now, as somebody who wants to build that value, and you have all these conflicting external factors, how do you handle all of them? So I'll start with you, Pastor.
Okay, so I've had, I mean, similar questions that are asked. You know, when a question like that is asked, I mean, when they ask me this question, usually you need to get a third person who can be able to look at the interests of both. Yeah. However, for instance, somebody asked me, he's had the same question that he has this vision, but the parents are saying, I asked that, what exactly do you want to do that your parents, he said he wants to be a footballer. And the parents are saying you should go to school. And he said, I asked her, so what reason did your parents give you? He said the parents said in Ghana, if you play football, it is not profiting enough. So, and I said I said to him, it is true. Even in America, if you're a white and you want to play basketball, your chances of becoming a star is low. Then so every talent need an environmental contest. You know, you need an environmental contest. You need a business contest. You know, that the talent is raw. So so many things are human inventions. There are certain talents, if you have it in Africa, it will work better than, I mean, if you want to apply in certain, you want to apply your talent in certain spheres, it better in Africa than in Europe or in the Western world. But there are certain things too, if you have a talent, it can be applied in certain, when you go to Europe, you see that there are a lot of range of things you can succeed from. And so that is why sometimes when the parents come in and they are advising, maybe they are looking at certain things. So you are looking at, is it the business context the parents are talking from, or you are looking at the thing from environmental context? Why is it that they are saying I should pursue this? You know, because maybe they have seen that when you pursue it that way, you know, it's not going to help. But if you get a third person who can assess the situation properly and listen to this side, listen to that side, they will be able to offer the guidance that, okay, look, if you do, and then if your parents, what your parents are saying is something that they may have to reconsider, then the person can advise them on that. Yes.
So to you also, Mr. Gazy, I mean, this I perceive as a question that one of your UGNs will definitely come to you with. Yes. So how do you deal with such situation?
Okay, so to add to what Pastor just said, I believe that everybody have their interest. Sometimes your parents are unable to do certain things and they want to live that dream through you. And one thing parents should also understand is that every child or every person is brought into the world for a purpose or a reason. So you cannot say that if he's meant to do this or he has to do A, B, C, D, you want him to go and do X, Y, Z. So sometimes we have to guide them in a discourse, sit down, discuss with them, get to know why they are saying they want to pursue this. Maybe they might be misguided that, oh, they've seen that their friend is doing this, and for that matter, it has triggered that they also want to go this way. So when we don't have the basis of why everybody is saying what they are saying, it makes it difficult. So you guide them and make sure you help them to get to where they want to go. And like Pastor said, if there's a third party who has a lot of information about the whole thing that is happening, he will be able to actually advise both parents. And in our setting, especially in Ghana, it is difficult for parents to actually listen to what their words, because they feel that they don't know much for them to be advising them on certain things. So we should come to a point where we discuss, so that it will even help the child to understand what they are doing or what they want to do. Because if there has been a discussion and they look at the weeks of what you are saying, they look at the pros, so I'll put it the pros and cons. You get to know whether this is the direction you have to go. I've been asked that question, and it was a close relative. Oh, he said that, oh, I am going to do this. I said, oh, okay, it's fine, you can do it. Then I started asking questions. So, do you know much about this? He said, no. What happened? Why do you want to do this? He said, oh, I heard it from this place. I'm saying that if you want to do this, you need A, B, C, D before you do that. Do you have it now? He said, no. Then I described the whole situation, the whole scenario. He said, oh, I want to go and marry. You get it? I described the whole situation and all of that. And the experience I have, I described everything to you. I said, oh, now, so what do you want to? I said, I'm not ready. I'll wait in 5 years' time. You get it? So I think if we are able to engage with them and not prejudice and presume that they are going a certain way, so we are not listening, we want to rather impose on them, then that's where the conflict comes
And
in.
of course, that becomes that's actually where I was going to. I mean, the real indicator, because you have most parents who want to sort of, like you said, live their dreams through their or they want to sort of, I think they find it just difficult to admit or accept what the young ones also bring, because there's this mindset that, oh, as a child, you know virtually nothing. But then, like we all know, in this modern era, the children are researching, they are reading, they have friends. So for them to come to you with a statement like that, I mean, it takes more than just throwing it away. Because when you throw it away, then in a way you are not building confidence in the children.
Sure.
And I believe definitely Pastor will get to that point. I've not seen the whole song, but I know definitely uncommon people definitely have a lot of confidence, which makes them their thing. So that's the point we are trying to address this from. I mean, how do we ensure that, I mean, with our words, for instance, we make them have that whole confidence in their decisions? Okay, because there's a goal for them, in the sense that the goal is that whatever values you are sort of creating, you should be very confident in it to be able to sort of defend it, to build it to wherever you want it to get to. So as a parent, from a parent perspective.
So the counseling is very important. So children need a lot of counseling, especially when they are growing up and they want to make decisions. Bible is saying that to wage your war, you need counsel. So life is like a war for them. And so we need to give them counseling, guidance, and that's why they come to church, they are hearing messages, you have to give them, you see. And in making decisions, there are steps. The first step is exposure. When they get the right exposure, sometimes when they don't understand the stuff, and you are taking them to different places, they are going for conferences, they are going for seminars, career conferences, and all that. It opens their mind. They begin to see their options. Many friends a lot of their friends suggest things to them. And then they start to pick that thing. Oh, my friend said that engineering is good. He said that this, and they make some false analysis. Sometimes their own friends make some analysis and then all that. But when they begin to get good counseling, they are beginning to meet people who are in education. They are meeting different aspect of life. I mean, different professions. They begin to appreciate the options that their parents are giving them, or in other words, what they ought to offer. Sometimes too, the parents are placing limits on the children based on their past experiences. And if you have a parent who is not widely read, and then they will say, okay, all I know is medicine, all I know is being a lawyer. But now there are a lot of fields. There are a lot of things that people can prosper in it. So basically it boils down to counseling, proper counseling, guidance and counseling. That would
I would want to add that another key thing is that parents always look at their capacity. So you want to do this, you want to go to, for instance, you want to go to the US and do aero engineering and all of they can afford. So you have to choose something else. And the passion is also to pursue that. So that is also another reason why there's conflict. And also, I believe that parents should allow their world to explore. From let's say from 5 years, they should start exploring, so that themselves they will get to know what they are good at, what they can do. They've seen a lot of things, and it makes the conversation more. It gives you more direction, because if the person has, that's why the church is very important. Because when you come to church, there's opportunity to do choreography, there's opportunity to handle camera. We teach a lot of things for free, so they are learning, and definitely they will find a place for themselves. And so if we don't allow them to explore, some parents are like, oh, going to church for activities is not important. Go to school. You are writing exams in the next month, so sit in the house and learn. But at the end of the day, we forget that there are other components that also come together for us to be holistic, for us to be able to make decisions. Because if you are ignorant of certain things, you make decisions skewed towards a certain direction. So that all has to be considered by parents, and then I think we'll be able to have a
Oh, wow. I mean, this has been an eye opener. Pastor, let me ask again: is there a time limit to, I mean, being on Como? Is there like an age limit that, okay, once you go past, like human inventions with our limits and all those, okay, at the age of 30, I should be doing this. Other than that, or at 40, I should be doing this. So is there really sort of a time frame within which one can be on Como? That when it goes past, then it means you are done.
Well, in certain fields, your age matters a lot, but in general terms, what human beings can do, there are no limits to it. But there are certain things, I mean, age forms plays a major role. Like if you are playing football, if you are 90 years, you can't play. But you see, our mind is different. Our mind can adapt to do a lot of things. So you don't just have to give up. I mean, like I said, you can apply your talent to different things. People have to understand that if I don't get A, I have to find another thing that my talent I can apply. It makes you survive. It makes you continuously make progress. Yeah.
Mr. Gazy, any questions?
Yeah, so I'm also thinking that nations and institutions are supposed to be providing platforms so that it will help in nurturing the people. In Ghana now, the discourse has been that, oh, they are not good enough. When you employ them, now the kind of issue, when you employ them, they don't have the skill, they don't have this, they don't have that. How are they supposed to have that? If there are no opportunities for them to learn, the platforms are few. You can, like Pastor was saying, you can only do this or that. So it doesn't even build their confidence, because they've not seen it before.
Don't you think that's also a two-way affair? I mean, aside the nations building the platform, I mean, people also taking up rules of volunteering. I mean, for instance, if I'm volunteering, I mean, I'm doing that as, a service, but then I'm building the expertise.
Yeah, so we need to, you see, when you provide a platform and you don't educate the people about it, there's no way they are going to use it. So it is a full package. If I'm saying that there is a place where you can go and you'll be well developed, and I don't tell people about it, let them know the importance of it and all of that, they'll obviously not appreciate it. We look at the situation of Henry Ford. He was saying that if he had asked his generation what they wanted, they would have said they wanted faster chariots. But when they made the car, they advertised. They were giving a lot of reasons why people should be driving. Apple will make their new products. They will still advertise, give reasons. So if you provide a platform, let people know, so that now they will be taking the decision. Okay, they will be thinking about it. Okay, so do I have to try this? Is it where I want to go? So you have to engage in this and all of that. So I believe that is a whole package that will be able to solve the challenge that we are facing now, especially with the youth.
It's been a wonderful discussion so far. In fact, we are wrapping up. We are about drawing the curtains. But then, Pastor, let me again ask. I mean, in every society, we have the liberalists, we have the legalists. I mean, those who want to hold their thing to the core. Somebody might be watching and thinks, well, we've been talking so far. I mean, is there any biblical evidence to support why we should be uncommon people? Right? And then if there are some biblical examples to show, and then, I mean, if we can also support that.
There are a lot of scripture. Bible says we should be the head, but not the tail. Should be above, but not beneath. Philippians 4, it says, whatsoever is good, whatsoever is of good report, if there are any virtue. The Bible encourages us to be at the top of our game. He wants us to go to the top. He wants us to be ambitious. He doesn't want us. He said we shall be 1,000 times more. For Psalm 2 verse 8, ask of me, I'll give you the nations. I'll let you possess. So there are overwhelming scriptures, in the Bible that support us to go to the top of our goals. God doesn't want us just to be around. He wants us to make impact. And so what he has given to us is the gift. And you see, gifts are the wheels of every church, every nation, every institution. That is what is the drivers, is what drives us forward. And so if you're a Christian, that's why in 1 Corinthians 12, he wants us to really identify our gifts. Which is very, very important. He wants us to operate to that gift. He wants us to use it. He wants us to use our gift to benefit others. So that is very important. So the Bible really encourages us to do exploit with whatever gifts he has given to us. Yeah.
You would want to add something?
The Bible says that I didn't give us the spirit of fear. And so, you see, because we are humans, sometimes we are susceptible to those things. And I would use this medium to encourage everybody in church, in school, wherever you find yourself. Don't put fear in people. We should encourage them, because you may not know. Right now, they don't actually know what they want to do. So they are kind of vulnerable. So we shouldn't be putting fear in them, especially the Christian fraternity. Fear is not something we should encourage in Christianity, because it dampens our spirit. We are not able to do a lot of things and all of that. So if you get to know, or you see somebody who is trying to do something, encourage the person and make sure that if you can support the person to wherever you think your strength could actually help, so that at the end of the day we'll be able to bring out a lot of talent. We'll be able to at least give the city hope, because like Pastor said, they are the wheels of the success of every society. So we should make sure we do that, especially the young ones, those around 10 to 15, 16, 17. Yeah, my wife said something. He said that the mother said something to her when she was going to school, and she said that math is easy, science is easy, you can do it, it's simple, and per the records she can do it. So the support was there. He was supporting her. So when she got to the university, she told her that medicine there is not a joke. If you don't learn hard, you will fail. And so you see, that thinking got to her. And so when she went to school, she was struggling a bit, but she remembered that she's good, she has a mind of God and all of that, and she can do even better than what she's doing. So encouragement, please. Yes, and whatever we say, it lingers on their mind, and they always think about it. So we should be careful what we say.
And Pastor, one final one. I mean, this has got to do with particularly students. I mean, so as a student, your major job or your major task is to study. Right. And then there are instances where, their drive to study is in there. You also want to be on top. You want to achieve. You want to be the one that's top in the class. But then there are instances where, the zeal to study or the drive to study isn't there. So what would be the advice for such a person?
So it's just the zeal to study, but it's not like if he study he can't know. Maybe he study you can. Commitment is like I said before. Commitment is not a feeling. You don't have to always feel like studying, because you are studying because there's a goal, and so you are committed to it, and so that should encourage you to study. Because once you understand that it's not a feeling, you would have, you see, the soul of everything, of a business, of an individual, and all that. When I say soul here, I mean what makes people very successful, that is intangible. One of them is routine. If you have consistency, you are doing something repeatedly, and you are not, it's not affecting your emotion, is not affecting it, your success rate increases. So commitment is not feeling. I don't feel like reading the Bible today. I don't feel like, and there are those who don't grow. I don't feel like praying today. I don't feel like praying. Today, I don't feel like. Because if I keep on saying I don't feel like eating, I don't sooner. So, but I have to know that when I'm committed to something, it's not about the feeling. The feeling follows, but it's sacrifice. Whether I feel it or not, I still have to do what I have to do.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Anyway, before we go, Pastor, I don't know, what should people expect, under talent metrics, what you are going to teach about talent metrics? What should be the expectations of people?
So I'm not only going to do the talent metrics. Now I'm doing how you are connecting. The team is connecting, how to connect your talent to value. So under that, I'm treating about 5 different things. I'm talking about the perspective of talent, how it's applicable in your personal development and organization. I'll talk about the talent metrics and how to really make your talent very effective. How to focus your talent, make it effective, and how to also develop a structure in your organization that is talent sensitive. So those are the things that I'll be talking about it's going to be a symposium, so there's going to be a lot of discussions and back and forth. For once you want this is very crucial. It's not everywhere that this are taught. It's rare. So once you come, you get it, you can go on further to develop.
I don't know if you can add some more details. Somebody would want to be participating or get to identify. Is it a symposium that the person needs to register for?
Yes.
The venue, the date,
yes. So I'm sure the ticket will be out by next week. It should be out. So a ticket comes with it. So we'll do it at the Life Event Center, and then Yes.
All right, thanks a lot. So you all heard it right. So on the 20th of November, we are meeting again at the Live Event Center for, a complete series. There's going to be a symposium. And for me, what really will stand out is trying to identify the talent metrics. In fact, I've been dealing with matrices a lot in various fields. It will be wonderful to see something developed by our own Pastor Emmanuel Abaji and his team. So I would love to see you there. It's been a great time with Mr. Ernest Gazy. God bless you for being with us and spending time with us. We learned a lot from you. And then our regular Pastor Emmanuel Abaji would like to say a big thank you to you. God bless you too. And then a big thanks to all our viewers, all our church members, and then the entire team that supports the application moments, production, and all. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, and then thanks for sticking with us and staying with us. We'll meet you again next week with a wonderful time on the same program, Application Moments. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.